So this is our fifth in a series of 5 wonderful podcasts about our guided pathways work and the activities and priorities. And I'm so happy to have these 2 wonderful colleagues here with me today. We have Jen Greve, who is the Executive Director of Marketing and Recruitment, and Lisa Reifenrath, the Director of Advising Services. And so they're going to talk to us about the onboarding improvements for our degree-seeking students. And there's a couple products that they're going to talk to us about today and systems that will help us to understand this work. So we're going to start with Jen. So Jen, talk to us about this priority and the product that we use, Recruit, and what it means for our students and their experience.
Right. Excuse me. So we are starting with our Recruit. It's a new CRM, which is a customer relationship management system.
Good. I'm glad you explained that. Thank you.
And so previously we were using 2 systems. People would go into Banner, then also Salesforce. What this does is probably the biggest and best thing that's going on is that we are redoing our application. And that will help our prospective students apply to Northeast so much easier. It's going to be mobile friendly. It's going to be very modern looking. And the great thing about it is that it kind of leads the student to what their goal is. So if a student says that I'm working on early college, I'm going to be an early college student, the questions will be crafted to what they want to do. And so it's going to be a lot better, and everybody's going to cheer when they see this new application. The other portion of it too is as the priority is just for our recruitment processes and help streamline some things, do some workflows with communications. So a lot of the manual processes are kind of going away also.
Well, so earlier in one of the earlier podcasts, we talked about fields of study. So if a student has an idea of the type of career they might want to have, will they check a box related to that?
Yeah, they will. And it will lead them down that path too. So you'll go ahead and choose first, at the very first screen, it asks you what field of study you're looking into. So they go ahead and select it. And then later on down in the application, once they start getting to the academic area, they will pick whether they want to go into a career or if they want to go ahead and transfer. So those 2 pathways, a career pathway or a transfer pathway, they'll choose. And then it dives in deeper and asks them, what program are you interested in? Just as a good idea as far as what the student is looking into, so then advising can go ahead and advise them appropriately.
So just an aside here, as a parent of a young person who's applied for college at Northeast, I am very excited about the changes. I had the opportunity with a group of students to participate in a pilot activity around that, and it was a great experience, Jen, and I appreciate that opportunity, as well as giving our students the opportunity to apply and give you feedback. So
yeah, it was great. They had great input, and they went through it very quickly, which is so positive.
Yes.
They'll be able to apply to Northeast so much easier now.
Okay. Fantastic. So Lisa, talk to us a little bit about the Advise product and system and how that's going to be used to support our students.
Yeah, so currently, as Jen mentioned, we are all using Salesforce right now, and Advise allows us to transition the students from once they become students into the Advise system. And it really has some automated ability, so it takes away some of the like busy work that advisors do on a daily basis, and we can do more automated things that allows us to have more time to focus on one-on-one conversations and meetings with students when they need us.
Oh, that's fantastic, because we know that those interactions help make such an impact of our students. I love hearing the stories from students when they talk about their advisors, and it's kind of a seamless process between Recruit and Advise.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. We've been, a lot of the teams are dual. So on Recruit, we have like 36 employees that are currently on this, and we've had such great discussions, and they have worked so hard to make sure that student experience is what they want it to be and what they've dreamed it to be.
So Lisa, you mentioned that these changes are going to allow employees to spend more time with students and less time behind their computer. Are there other changes and differences for our employees that are using these 2 products?
On the advising side, there definitely is. Currently, the first-year advising team and TRIO advisors have access to Salesforce and can see notes on students, but when we transition them to their faculty advisors, they don't have that access. So Advise will allow everyone to be on the same page and see the goals and all the steps that we've already gone through as freshmen. So
that's incredible. So when they move to a faculty advisor in that second year, the faculty will know their journey.
Absolutely.
From the recruiting stage. Oh, that's going to be incredible. I know that our faculty will appreciate that. That's great.
Yeah, and then with recruitment, with the recruit side, it's cleaning up some manual processes that we've always wanted to do, and the system is allowing us to do it. So processing applications just automatically, and not having to sit down and process every single one. So that'll alleviate some time. And then the communication workflows. Before, you'd always have to gather a bunch of lists and push out communications, and we'll be able to just do that through workflows and communication plans, do it on a calendar-based structure too. So then we can start diving into our prospective students and see where they're at in that enrollment stage. Where are they getting hung up at? Where are the gaps? Where are some of those roadblocks that we may not know because we don't have that detailed reporting? So we're really excited about that.
So talk about the timeline for implementation. When are these products going to be available to the employees and our students?
You want me to start?
Sure, go ahead.
Great. Well, we started in October with just some looking through like what are some of our needs, and we are hoping that we can go ahead and push to our production area in May into June. So we will be in Recruit come May and June. We will have a phased approach though. So anybody that is going to be applying to Northeast for spring or summer of 2025, they will still apply through the old application.
Okay.
But the new application for anybody that's applying for fall of 2025, they will use the new application. Any prospective students that would be coming into like May or June area, they will see the recruit system and use the recruit system and then just kind of flow through that way. So we wanted to make sure that the reporting was correct and we weren't splitting up systems so we didn't have gaps in reporting too. So that's the reason for that.
Yeah, and so the admissions timeline is very different than the academic year or the fiscal year. And so you're really planning your process using that admissions timeline or that admissions annual cycle.
Correct.
Versus something that is more familiar to most of us, which is fiscal year or academic year. So, okay, thanks for explaining that. That helps. And what about Advise?
For Advise, we'll be following our academic year. So we are currently working on implementation and we'll go live this summer. And so we're going to do little bits and pieces. It'll grow as we go. But we're going to start out with a focus on advising and the early alert process for next school year.
I love the grow as you go concept. It really is a nice continuous quality improvement phrase as well, because I'm sure that you'll be using experiences to improve it as you move along and grow. So
Absolutely.
Awesome. So talk about it. My last question for the two of you is, how will we measure the success of our students when we think about implementing these products?
I think on the Advise side, it will really, success to me is having less manual processes and being able to like automate some things so all students are getting the right information at the right times, which we currently don't have in place. And then that handoff from freshman advisor to sophomore advisor to our faculty will be more seamless for our students.
Fantastic.
And Recruit's about the same. It's going to be a lot of those manual processes that are going to go away, but then also the student experience is going to be so much better for them, and we'll be able to see that. And again, being able to look at dashboards as far as where the stages are for our prospective students when they come into our systems and we first meet them through our systems all the way through to when they do their first new student registration, NSR. We'll be able to see where they're getting hung up at, what are some of the areas that we need to improve upon just within our own processes and just within the enrollment stages too. So we're excited about all those dashboards and looking at those.
I mean, and when I think about how it's going to impact students, I would suggest to you that maybe we'll have cleaner pathways for students that, especially that are transferring, making sure that they aren't taking additional classes or classes that they might not need because of that information that's able to be shared between our advisors that do that work on a full-time basis and those faculty that are doing that on a less than full-time basis as advisors. I would share with you too that if we kept track of how many minutes you were meeting with students, I bet that's going to go up because you're less engaged with with the computer, and you're going to be more engaged with the students. So I'm excited to see those changes, and thank you so much for spending some time with me this afternoon. And thank you all for participating, listening in to these podcasts to learn more about the Guided Pathways work, the priorities, the activities, and the celebrations that we have as Northeast Community College.